right, let's welcome in meteorologist Emily Santam. Not only has NOAA released its spring outlook, but so have both of the Farmers Almanacs.
And yes, there are two different ones, and each one has its own outlook.
In the Farmers Almanac, you know, we don't love looking at it as a meteorologist, but it does have some really interesting stuff, and their outlooks are very different. So I'm going to show 3 spring outlooks today, and it's really a toss up in the air. So I want to do a little bit of a background on the Farmers Almanac. There are 2 different kinds. This one was published back in 1818, and it's forecasted today by Caleb Weatherby, and it's a pseudonym, so we don't know who the actual person is. It's actually, their headquarters are in Dublin, New Hampshire, so there's a lot of New England ties to the Farmers Almanac. They use formulas that involve equations, math, astronomical equations, where the planets are in the solar system, and tidal activity as well as solar activity. So here is the 2025 spring outlook from the Farmers Almanac. And for the Northeast, really New England, they're calling for a cool and wet spring. I feel like that's been the vibe so far, really the trend, at least the first week of spring. Now let's talk about the old Farmers Almanac. It was established in New Hampshire again back in 1792, and they wanted to be a little different, so they added the old in the front. So those are our 2 Farmers Almanac too. The meteorologist today, which actually made that spring outlook that I'm going to show in just a second here, is Bob Smerbeck and Brian Thompson. Once again, those are the 2 meteorologists that created the spring outlook for 2025. This is also the longest running publication in the whole country. And here's the outlook. It's very different. They're forecasting a warm and dry spring for the Northeast. So we had a cool and wet one with the Farmers Almanac, a warm and dry for the spring outlook from the regular old Farmers Almanac. So totally different forecast there. Here's NOAA's forecast for spring, once again, March 1st all the way through the end of May. They are calling for above normal temperatures and near normal chances. So equal chances of either a wetter or drier spring. So those are 3 different forecasts. And I know that a lot of Mainers, even people in New England in general, they like looking at the Farmers Almanac, so it just shows how different those forecasts are. And it's really all up in the air because, once again, it's just a forecast, and it's a pretty far out one.
Well, you kind of do with storms, too. You have the European model and the American model,
yes,
right? When you look at the storms, and those can be totally
Canadian
different.
Model, there's other models, too. We have a model in Japan and stuff like that, so it's very different. And we kind of just try to combine all of them to bring the most accurate forecast.
Use your expertise, you know, to figure out which direction we're going. Yeah.
And if you watch on Friday, we may be reading some excerpts out of the Farmers Almanac.
That'd be fun.
So I think that'd be a fun thing to do.
Oh, Jeff's not here, so he's going to miss it.
Exactly, I'm going to miss it. See you later.
I'll send you a video.
Yeah, we'll send you the clip.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch that.
And you know what? They are pretty useful for gardening tips, especially because we just talked about maintaining your grass, especially in the spring. If you're into astrology too, your Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, stuff like that, they also have that in the book. So it's pretty interesting when you're not looking at the weather stuff. But it's fun to look at either way. So.
And thanks for listing my sign, by the way, Pisces. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Mine wasn't listed. That's all right. We'll go over it on Friday, Sagittarius.
Okay, we'll look at your horoscope on Friday.
Hopefully it's good stuff.
Well, if you have any weather-related questions, maybe about the spring outlooks in general or where we found all that information, you can always email us at weather@wgme.com.